When I was about to get legally married to my fiancé, he said his widowed sister-in-law was pregnant with his brother's child, and to preserve the family name, he claimed I was infertile, when in fact he's the one who's infertile. He then immediately married his widowed sister-in-law. Enraged, I went for a spur-of-the-moment marriage to his sworn enemy. As a result, he and his widowed sister-in-law tormented me, and even desecrated my mom's grave. They also publicly humiliated me at an auction with my nude photos, forcing me to pay to retrieve it. He even plotted to kill me. Later, he discovered his widowed sister-in-law had tricked him with a fake pregnancy. In a fit of rage, he severed her legs, went bankrupt himself, and was permanently imprisoned. Dialing my decade-long rival's phone, I asked, "Getting married? The kind where we get legally married and have kids right away?" Liam Campbell's voice on the other end of the phone was surprised yet cautious. "Eleanor Vance, are you trying to act out again? You know, I just got overseas for business. If this deal fell through, my grandfather will kill me." I paused, "Then forget it, I'll look around some more." Liam Campbell, who had just been suspicious, instantly bristled. "You're not allowed to look at anyone else. You can only marry me. Just wait." Hanging up the phone, I hailed a cab back to the home I once cherished. Just as I finished packing my luggage and was about to leave, Julian Thorne returned with Serena Thorne. Seeing me with my suitcase, he frowned. "I just asked you to switch rooms. Is there a need for this kind of drama?" Serena Thorne timidly spoke up. "Is Ms. Vance angry because she didn't get her marriage certificate, so she's running away?" Julian Thorne scoffed. "Eleanor Vance, I said I was just taking care of Serena to bear my brother's child. Are you so bothered by that piece of paper? If you act out again, move out of this house. I wonder where else you'll go." I replied, "Okay, I'm leaving now." Julian Thorne was infuriated by my unperturbed expression. Serena Thorne spoke tearfully. "Ms. Vance, I just don't want the baby to be criticized before it's even born. Can you just lend Julian to me for 10 months? Don't hold a grudge against Julian, he actually loves you very much. He said you're perfect in every way except for being unable to have children. If it weren't for taking responsibility for Michael and me and the baby, he wouldn't treat you this way. After all, if he wants to marry you, this is the only way to preserve the Thorne family's only lineage." She wasn't wrong. After all, Michael Thorne was dead, and no one in the Thorne family could continue the family line anymore. Julian Thorne still didn't know that he's the one who's infertile. Since he wanted this child so much, I'd grant him his wish. Now that you two are legally married, you don't need to explain so much to me." I dragged my suitcase around them, trying to leave, but Serena Thorne tremblingly grabbed my arm. "Ms. Vance, I truly didn't mean to break you two apart. I'm the one who should leave. Baby, I'm so sorry. Mom shouldn't have kept you. I don't want to be the other woman. Please don't blame me." She retched painfully, her face pale as tears streamed down. Julian Thorne hastily helped her to the sofa, comforting her. "Don't overthink it. Ellie understands. She even prepared a gift for you and the baby." He looked at the Lucky Charm bracelet on my wrist. 3 years ago, he had personally knelt for hours to get for me. He once said, "May this Lucky Charm bracelet protect you, keeping you healthy and safe forever." But now, he wanted me to give it to Serena Thorne. I took off the Lucky Charm bracelet and handed it to Serena Thorne. "I wish you and the baby in your belly health and safety." As soon as I finished speaking, the Lucky Charm bracelet on Serena Thorne's wrist snapped, scattering across the floor. Serena Thorne's face pale, she covered her stomach and cried. "Ms. Vance, you really weren't sincere, were you?" "Julian, my stomach hurts so much." Julian Thorne nervously embraced her, sternly ordering the staff to call a doctor. "Eleanor Vance, you did that on purpose, didn't you? Apologize." His gaze at me was filled with disgust, but he didn't see the flicker of triumph in Serena Thorne's eyes. I scoffed, then turned and left. Julian Thorne was finally completely enraged, grabbing a vase and smashing it violently towards me. A sharp pain shot through my back, and I fell heavily into the shattered ceramic shards. The intense pain made my head buzz, and my vision blurred. When the doctor arrived, he gasped, wanting to treat my wounds, but Julian Thorne stopped him. "She deserves it. Treat Serena first." He picked up Serena Thorne, stepped over me on the floor, not even glancing at me. Serena Thorne, leaning on his shoulder, silently smiled at me. "You lost." Half an hour later, the doctor finally came to treat the wound on my back. After thanking him, I gritted my teeth, got up, and dragged my suitcase, ready to leave. but a pair of hands tightly grabbed me. Serena says she wants chicken noodle soup. Your soup is always good, make it for her now. My suitcase was thrown to the floor, its contents spilling out. Julian Thorne violently pushed me into the kitchen. The wound on my back instantly tore open, making me gasp in pain. No, I don't have that obligation. I glared at him furiously. Julian Thorne glanced at the suitcase, then strode forward and picked up the pink good luck charm doll. That was 3 years ago, when Sarah Vance wasn't sick yet. She got it from a temple. The blue one contained Julian Thorne's birth details, and the pink one contained my birth details. Sarah Vance said it was to ensure safety, and for people in love to always be together. At that time, Julian Thorne insisted on taking my pink one, saying the pink doll looked a lot like me. He also said that way he could always see me. But now, he held the good luck charm doll high, threatening me. If you don't do it, I'll smash it. This was the only thing Sarah Vance left me, and I would never allow anyone to destroy it. Julian Thorne, you jerk. I lunged to snatch it, but he shoved me back into the kitchen and locked the door. Come get it after you've made the soup. An hour later, he opened the door, saw the soup I had stewed, and smiled. Wouldn't it have been better to do this earlier? After I placed the soup on the dining table, Serena Thorne drank it spoon by spoon, her face full of happiness. Can I have it back now? I extended my hand to Julian Thorne. The moment he handed over the good luck charm doll, Serena Thorne's eyes lit up. What a cute doll. She snatched it before I could. Give it back. My eyes red, I lunged to snatch it back, but Serena Thorne acted as if I had startled her, knocking over the soup bowl with a slap. Julian Thorne, deeply concerned, held her ankle, which was cut by a ceramic shard, and looked at me with cold eyes. You did that on purpose, didn't you? But I hadn't even touched the soup bowl. It was her own. Bang. The good luck charm doll was violently smashed to the ground by him, shattering into pieces. My head buzzed when I saw my birth details shattered. The only thing Sarah Vance left me was gone. I completely broke down, crying as I knelt to pick up the fragments. Through blurry tears, the shards pricked my fingers, making them bleed. Julian Thorne finally remembered something and knelt down, looking at me apologetically. Before he could offer comfort, Serena Thorne behind him cried out in pain, clutching her stomach. He immediately abandoned everything else, picked her up, and rushed to find a doctor. My phone rang. It was Liam Campbell. Ellie, I've sent someone to pick you up. They're right outside the mansion. I got up and quickly walked out the front door. Just as I saw the black sedan, the staff suddenly appeared with guards. They dragged me back inside. In the study, Julian Thorne, with a cold face, told me, Serena has a blood clotting disorder, and you caused her injury, leading to uncontrollable bleeding. Since you also have a rare blood type, make amends by donating blood to her. The doctor looked at me with some hesitation. Ms. Vance has also sustained quite a few injuries. If she donates blood again, she might become anemic. Perhaps it's still not too late to take Ms. Leo to Thorne Corp. Hospital for treatment. No need. She committed the mistake, so she must bear the consequences herself. Draw the blood. The moment the syringe pierced my vein, I gasped, feeling suffocated by the pain. After 800 cubic centimeters were drawn, my vision blurred. Julian Thorne, however, pressed down on the doctor's hand, stopping him from pulling out the needle. Draw a bit more for backup. The doctor looked at my condition disapprovingly, saying it would be dangerous for me to draw more. Julian Thorne hesitated for 2 seconds, then, hearing Serena Thorne's cries of pain, he frowned. The pregnant woman is more important. Draw it. Feeling the coldness of blood leaving my body, I could no longer hold on and fainted. When I opened my eyes again, I found myself lying in a hospital. Julian Thorne was guarding the hospital bed, looking at me worriedly. Ellie, I was wrong yesterday. Are you feeling better? A nurse beside him smiled. This young lady is truly blessed. Your boyfriend has been by your hospital bed non-stop since last night. He even urged us to save you with all our might. He was almost in tears. I ignored them and quickly pulled out my phone. As expected, there were many missed calls. Liam Campbell's tearful text messages came in one after another. Seeing how anxious I was, Julian Thorne's eyes flashed with displeasure. Who is it? I said indifferently, none of your business. He paused, about to ask further, when I pointed to his vibrating phone. Someone's looking for you. He quickly got up and left the hospital room. I called Liam Campbell back, and his anxious voice came through. Ellie, why didn't you get in the car I arranged? Did you change your mind? No, I just had something to deal with. I'll see you at the City Hall entrance in 3 days. As soon as I hung up the phone, Julian Thorne returned. Noticing the unusual smile on my face, he felt somewhat annoyed. It seemed that for the past 3 years, that smile had only been shown to him. He suddenly wanted to know who the person constantly calling my phone and affecting my mood was. But remembering his own phone call just now, he swallowed the question he was about to ask. Ellie, Grandma Thorne wants me to take you back to the family estate tomorrow. She says she has something to tell you. That's fine, I also have something to return to Grandma Thorne. The moment I followed Julian Thorne into the mansion's living room, I saw Serena Thorne intimately chatting with Grandma Thorne. Seeing me enter, the smile on Grandma Thorne's face immediately vanished. Some people can't even have children, and on top of that, they almost ruin the Thorne family's legacy. I originally thought you were a sensible woman, but it turns out you're this selfish and malicious. Julian Thorne grabbed my hand and whispered, ever since my elder brother passed away, Grandma Thorne's temper has become very bad. Serena Thorne and I getting legally married was also forced by her. But don't worry, once the baby is born, they won't be able to stop me from marrying you. I suddenly remembered the premarital health report from a month ago, which clearly stated that Julian Thorne had male factor infertility. At that time, his brother Michael Thorne had just passed away. I was afraid that Grandma Thorne, and he wouldn't be able to bear the blow of the Thorne family potentially having no heir, so I took the blame for being unable to conceive. Julian Thorne at the time had tightly held my hand, saying he would marry me no matter what. He said, Ellie, I can live without children, but I can't live without you. But just half a month later, the man who constantly said he couldn't live without me got legally married to someone else because of a child. Seeing my silence, Grandma Thorne's anger intensified. Take off that ancestral emerald bracelet of the Thorne family and get out. Don't you dare mess up Julian and Serena's wedding? The Thorne family will only ever acknowledge her as our granddaughter-in-law. I took off the Thorne family's ancestral emerald bracelet from my wrist and handed it to Serena Thorne. Unexpectedly, her hand slipped and the bracelet suddenly fell. Crack. It shattered into several pieces, glowing a faint green under the chandelier. Ms. Vance, I know you're unhappy with me, but you shouldn't take out your anger on this ancestral treasure. Serena Thorne shrieked in panic. Grandma Thorne slapped me across the face. Do you know how much this bracelet is worth? You couldn't even pay for it if you sold yourself. I'm calling the police to arrest you. I was hit so my head snapped to the side, a trickle of blood appearing at the corner of my mouth. Julian Thorne frantically shielded me. Grandma Thorne, Ellie definitely didn't do it on purpose. Maybe the broken bracelet warded off disaster for Serena and the baby. We can just get someone to re-inlay it. Grandma Thorne snorted. If you don't want me to call the police, fine. Make her kneel down and apologize to Serena, and keep bowing until Serena is satisfied. Serena Thorne, her face pale, looked as if she was about to burst into tears. How dare I let Ms. Vance apologize? I'm the one who stole the happiness that should have been hers. I'm the one who should apologize. I said coldly. You were the one who didn't hold it steady and intentionally dropped it. What does that have to do with me? Julian Thorne's face, however, completely darkened. Eleanor Vance, kneel down and apologize to Grandma Thorne and Serena. I stubbornly straightened my back. No way. Otherwise, let's check the surveillance camera to see whose fault it really was. Hearing this, Serena Thorne's face instantly went white, and she immediately knelt on the ground, starting to bow. Grandma Thorne, I was the one who didn't hold it steady. Please don't be angry with Ms. Vance. Grandma Thorne quickly helped her up. You're pregnant, you shouldn't exert yourself like this. Today, I must make her apologize to you. Julian Thorne squeezed my wrist and whispered, Ellie, just kneel and admit your mistake. Grandma is doing this out of concern for her grandson. I shook off his hand. I won't kneel. I did nothing wrong. His eyes finally grew cold. Don't forget, your mom is still in the hospital, and one call from me could ensure she loses her medical care. I was shocked, looking incredulously at the man I had loved for 3 years. 3 years ago, Serena Thorne chose Michael Thorne. He ran to the riverbank to drown his sorrows. I sensed he had suicidal thoughts, so I stayed with him through the cold night, comforting him. Later, he confessed his feelings for me, saying he wanted to be with me, and completely forget Serena Thorne. At first, I didn't agree because I felt love shouldn't be tainted by anything, and I didn't want to be someone's rebound or a pawn. But he became increasingly attentive to me. Even after learning that my family went bankrupt, my father committed suicide, and my mother became partially paralyzed, he deeply concerned offered to have my mom admitted to Thorn Corp. Hospital. At that time, his eyes, looking at me, were full of concern and affection. Ellie, I truly like you. Don't rush to refuse me. Consider this a kind gesture from a friend. Will you accept it? Moved, I accepted his kindness. He stayed with me, taking care of my mom, until Sarah Vance said she thought Julian Thorn was a good boy, and hoped I would try to be with him. But I never imagined that today he would use Sarah Vance's life to force me to apologize. Seeing me trembling all over and with tearful eyes, a flicker of unwillingness crossed his eyes. But under Grandma Thorn's sharp reprimand, his expression hardened again. You won't kneel, will you? He pulled out his phone and dialed the hospital's phone. No. I'll kneel. I gritted my teeth and knelt on the ground, bowing my head repeatedly towards Serena Thorn. Only when my forehead began to bleed did Grandma Thorn impatiently wave her hand. Get back and reflect. Julian and Serena are having their wedding, the day after tomorrow. You are not allowed to cause any trouble. I stumbled out in humiliation from the Thorn family estate and called Liam Campbell's phone. His cheerful yet complaining voice almost made me cry. You finally decided to call me. Did you see the news? I put everything on the line to marry you, and thankfully, everything went smoothly. I opened social media, and a trending topic popped into view. The heir of Campbell Corp suddenly left in the middle of a 5-day business conference and signing event, reportedly to rush back for marriage. International reporters repeatedly asked the partner companies if they felt disrespected. The partner companies stated that one should be brave in pursuing love when young, and they greatly admired Liam Campbell's attitude towards valuing relationships and family, indicating they would postpone the signing event until he returned. Local reporters cornered Mr. Robert Campbell and Grandpa Arthur Campbell downstairs at their company. Both smiled and said, originally, we wanted to disinherit him for doing that, but the daughter-in-law he chose happens to be the one we've acknowledged. We couldn't wait any longer. Granddaughter-in-law, your grandpa wants to say a few words to you. The Campbell family will never look down on anyone because their family fortunes declined. Grandpa Arthur Campbell has always hoped to fulfill the long-standing engagement between our two families. The Campbell family will always be your strongest support. Clutching my phone, I finally couldn't hold back and sobbed. Liam Campbell and I had been betrothed from birth by our grandfathers, while still in our mother's wombs. But he was so annoying. When he was little, I didn't like him. It wasn't until I was 10 that he started seriously pursuing me, loving me to his core. I had originally thought that if I didn't find anyone I liked by the time I was 20, I'd be with him. But then I met Julian Thorn. After being with Julian Thorn, Liam Campbell would send me emails every holiday. He never forgot to tease me a bit, saying that if Julian Thorn ever disappointed me, I could always go to him. Only today did I finally realize that Liam Campbell was the one who truly loved me, and was right for me. Liam Campbell, you don't mind that I was with someone else for 3 years? I asked through sobs, my final question. Liam Campbell on the other end of the phone was uncharacteristically silent for a moment, then said seriously, Eleanor Vance, don't cry, and don't feel inferior. I like you for who you are, regardless of who you've liked or been with. It's that jerk Thorn, who was blind and let you down, not that you're not good enough. He didn't cherish you, but I will. Wait for me to come back. I've already custom ordered your wedding ring. Go try it on at the jewelry store tomorrow. After tomorrow, I want everyone to know that you are my wife, Liam Campbell's wife, the most outstanding woman who deserves me most. That night, even though I knew Julian Thorn and Serena Thorn wouldn't be home, I still dragged my suitcase to a hotel. From today onwards, I wanted no more involvement with them. The next day, I went to the city's most upscale jewelry store, according to the address Liam Campbell gave me, to try on my wedding ring. The pink large diamond ring radiated a gentle glow on my hand. My heart warmed. I hadn't expected Liam Campbell to remember that I liked pink. A surprised voice sounded from behind me. Julian, I like this one. Seeing that it was me, Julian Thorn's face instantly darkened. Eleanor Vance, I told you to stay home and reflect. Are you stalking us here? He grabbed my hand, fiercely pulling off the ring. The sharp edge of the setting cut my finger, and blood immediately welled up. I gasped in pain. Stop coveting things that can never belong to you. If you keep this attitude, I won't consider marrying you anymore. Julian Thorn coldly admonished me, then placed the ring on Serena Thorn's hand. This pink one suits you well. We'll take this ring. The store clerk brought a first aid kit to bandage my wound, saying apologetically, I'm sorry, sir, but this ring was custom made with a pink diamond for an overseas client. It's not for sale. Perhaps you'd like to choose another one. Serena Thorne clutched the pink diamond ring, refusing to take it off. Julian, I really like this one. Ask the client if they're willing to transfer it. I scoffed, no, it will only be mine. Then I turned to the clerk and said, please clean it thoroughly later. I'm afraid it might be contaminated with bad luck. Serena Thorne's eyes immediately reddened. Julian Thorne, fuming, grabbed my wrist and roared, Eleanor Vance, did I give you too much leeway? I told you, I won't buy you any ring today. Give up on that idea. The surrounding crowd was drawn in, whispering, our mistress is this arrogant now. Snatching a diamond ring right in front of the original partner, TSK. If it were me, I would have slapped her already. How dare she act out in front of me? Julian Thorne couldn't stand the whispers and dragged me, intending to leave. A slender, powerful hand tightly gripped his wrist. Julian Thorne winced and let go, and I was smoothly pulled into that person's embrace. I'm sorry, wife, I'm late. The moment Liam Campbell appeared, the surrounding crowd erupted. Isn't that the heir of Campbell Corp? Could it be that the woman he abandoned his work to marry in the news is her? Julian Thorne stared at Liam Campbell as if he wanted to devour him. Let her go. Liam Campbell, however, smiled casually, I'm holding my wife. What's it to you? Wife. Eleanor Vance, what is going on? Julian Thorne's voice suddenly rose, as if he had suffered the greatest betrayal. I coldly scoffed, Julian Thorne, you're not in a position to question me, are you? Your wife is standing right there. Liam Campbell noticed the diamond ring on Serena Thorne's hand, and his eyes darkened. Mr. Davies, why is the diamond ring I custom ordered for my wife on her hand? The jewelry store manager, wiping his sweat, reprimanded the previous clerk and apologized to Serena Thorne with a forced smile, Madam, please take off the ring. This item is an exclusive custom order for a client, and is not for sale. Serena Thorne, her face pale, reluctantly took off the ring. Liam Campbell, with a look of disgust, ordered, How unlucky. Take it and clean it thoroughly. What a piece of trash, always wanting to snatch other people's things. His double entendre almost made Serena Thorne spit blood. Julian Thorne, however, ignored her, and gnashed his teeth at me. Eleanor Vance, we haven't broken up yet. Are you so impatient to find some other guy to provoke me? I said loudly in feigned surprise. Fie. Didn't you just get legally married to your widowed sister-in-law a few days ago? Doesn't that mean we broke up? Or are you trying to two-time? Liam Campbell didn't forget to twist the knife. TSK, one fickle, one who stole someone else's boyfriend, and now wants to steal a diamond ring. You two really are a perfect pair. He emphasized the word, pair, in a way that made its true, derogatory meaning clear. I couldn't help but chuckle, feeling a touch of warmth in my heart. Why hadn't I noticed before? How so charming, when he's being sassy he was. Julian Thorne and Serena Thorne's faces turned green, and then purple from his insults. The crowd suddenly understood. How explosive. Abandoning his girlfriend to marry his widowed sister-in-law. This guy looks familiar. Isn't he the second young master of Thorne Corp? The one whose elder brother died in a plane crash recently. Holy cow. His brother's grave is still fresh, and he's already preyed on his widowed sister-in-law. Truly utterly appalling. Some also cursed Serena Thorne. Is this woman a gold digger? She must be greedy for wealth to shamelessly cling to the second young master. Who in their right mind would get legally married to their dead boyfriend's brother, right after he died? Originally, no one knew that the deceased Michael Thorne had a pregnant fiancée, but with Liam Campbell's words today, it was likely that within 2 hours, the entire internet would know about this scandal of Thorne Corp. Seeing that they were in an awkward situation, Serena Thorne could only clutch her stomach and cry out in pain. Julian Thorne took the opportunity to pick her up and rushed out. The crowd became even more agitated. Oh my God. Is she pregnant too? Michael Thorne is so miserable. Betrayed by his own brother. Some also looked at me with sympathy. His ex-girlfriend is pretty miserable too, but thankfully she saw through him in time and found a better man. Liam Campbell mysteriously led me by the hand to the jewelry store entrance. I then noticed that the plaza was covered in my favorite Ecuadorian roses, and the large screen above began looping videos of our moments together since childhood. The onlookers in the store were stunned. Outside, reporters had already gathered, eagerly filming us. Liam Campbell knelt on one knee, holding the pink diamond ring, his eyes full of deep affection and sincerity. Ellie, when I was little, I didn't know how to like someone, so I came up with all sorts of ways to annoy you to get your attention. But later, I understood that loving someone means wishing them well, and for them to be happy every day. I believe I have the ability to make you happy every day for the rest of your life. Will you marry me? Tears in my eyes, I nodded, letting him slide the ring onto my ring finger. Amidst everyone's applause and cheers, Liam Campbell cupped my face as if I were the most precious treasure, and slowly pressed a kiss. It was a long time before he reluctantly let me go. Ellie, shall we get legally married today? I can't wait any longer. I blushed and nodded, then whispered something in his ear. Okay, don't worry. I'll send someone today to pick up Sarah Vance and take her to Campbell Corp. Hospital. Later, I'll go with you to see Sarah Vance. I'm sure she'll be very happy. Amidst everyone's blessings, he pulled me into the car. On the way to the city hall, the road was adorned with roses and hot air balloons with banners. They were covered with the words, Ellie, marry me. Every time the car reached a certain point, these hot air balloons would rise one after another, becoming a romantic sight in the city. After Liam Campbell and I got our marriage certificates, Mr. Robert Campbell's phone rang impatiently. You rascal, bring Ellie back quickly. Grandpa Arthur Campbell is eager to see her. After many years, stepping into the Campbell family mansion again, my heart was a mix of emotions, and I felt a bit nervous. As if knowing what I was thinking, Liam Campbell squeezed my palm firmly with his large hand, and whispered in my ear, don't be nervous. My dad and Grandpa Arthur Campbell are probably more nervous than you are, haha. The gentle cedarwood scent instantly calmed me down. Indeed, the moment I stepped into the living room, I saw Mr. Robert Campbell anxiously directing the staff. That plate of baked salmon, with herbs is Ellie's favorite dish, put it here. And Grandpa Arthur Campbell was holding something, muttering to himself excitedly. The moment they saw me, their eyes lit up, and they quickly walked over. Mr. Robert Campbell wanted to reach out and pull me, but felt it was inappropriate, so he awkwardly retracted his hand in midair. Ellie, welcome to our home. Your aunt used to talk about you all the time, and now you're finally here. Liam Campbell laughed. Dad. What do you mean, visiting? Ellie is coming home. Then, he proudly pulled out the 2 marriage certificates from his embrace and waved them around. He looked just like a child waiting for praise from his parents. Mr. Robert Campbell's face broke into a wide smile. Yes. Yes. Welcome home. Grandpa Arthur Campbell took my hand and pulled out an emerald bracelet from a box, placing it on my wrist. Ellie, this bracelet has been passed down from your grandmother. It should have been yours long ago. Our Campbell family has a small lineage. This rascal Liam Campbell kept delaying getting married, and we disciplined him often. Later we found out he was waiting for you all along. I looked at Liam Campbell. Were you so sure you could wait for me? What if you couldn't? He tilted his head proudly and said, if I couldn't, I'd crash the wedding. Anyway, I've decided on you. There's no room for anyone else in my heart. Ellie, it's a good thing you finally came to your senses. You know, the day I got your phone call overseas, I almost went crazy with happiness. We all laughed at his words. A cold snort, however, broke the warm atmosphere. You're celebrating too early. Would you still be laughing if you knew you married someone who can't have children? The person who arrived was none other than Grandma Thorne, leaning on her cane, her face grim. Grandpa Arthur Campbell's face immediately darkened. What are you doing here? The Campbell family doesn't welcome you. Mr. Robert Campbell shouted for the staff, only to find them held back by 2 bodyguards, unable to move. Mr. Robert Campbell, after all these decades, do you still hate me so much? It doesn't matter. I'm not here to reminisce with you. I'm just here to act out and remind an old friend. Choose your granddaughter-in-law carefully. Don't be fooled and let someone wipe out the Campbell family line. His words made Grandpa Arthur Campbell's chest heave, and his face turned red. Get out. Stop sowing discord here. And how dare you curse the Campbell family? First, worry about how you're going to handle the scandal that's erupted in the Thorne family with a press release. As Liam Campbell whispered explanations, I finally learned that Grandpa Arthur Campbell and Grandma Thorne used to be childhood sweethearts, betrothed from birth. Unfortunately, Grandma Thorne had looked down on the Campbell family's less established background back then, seduced old Mr. Thorne, and made Grandpa Arthur Campbell the laughing stock of their social circle. No wonder Grandpa Arthur Campbell valued the betrothal contract so much, wanting Liam Campbell to marry me even after the Vance family fortunes declined. Fortunately, the Campbell family was now one of the most influential families on the East Coast, while the Thorne family had plummeted since old Mr. Thorne's death. You don't need to worry about us. The Thorne family acts with integrity. By then, your Campbell family will truly be cursed to have no heirs by this little tramp. Grandma Thorne pointed at me and cursed. You little tramp, do you think you can get the Campbell family's protection? What old money families value most is legacy. Infertility is an unforgivable sin, and you'll be kicked out of their family sooner or later. Then we'll settle accounts with you properly. Mr. Robert Campbell and Grandpa Arthur Campbell were shocked. Ellie, what does she mean? HMPH, this little tramp went for a premarital health report with my grandson, and the result was that she couldn't have children. That's why my second grandson married his elder brother's girlfriend, and the two of them are innocent. My granddaughter-in-law is carrying my elder grandson's child. The Thorne family just couldn't bear to let our bloodline be scattered. Originally, my second grandson wanted this little tramp to be the mother after the child was born, but who knew she would be so ungrateful and try to ruin the Thorne family's reputation? Since that's the case, we won't be polite anymore. After speaking, she reminded everyone to look at their phones. I then saw that Thorne Corp had just released a press release. On the live stream, it clearly showed what the Campbell family and Grandma Thorne had just said. She smiled and pointed to her brooch. What do you think I'm here for today? I'm going live to let everyone know the truth. At this moment, the comment section had already exploded. OMG, so that's how it is. The Thorne family resorted to this out of necessity to preserve the child. It's understandable. This woman is truly vicious. They said she could raise the child after it's born, but she turned the tables and accused them, causing her boyfriend and sister-in-law to take the blame and be cursed. She climbed to a higher branch, didn't she? The sole heir of Campbell Corp is indeed a love-struck fool. He almost got tricked. Mr. Robert Campbell's face grew darker with each comment, and Grandpa Arthur Campbell clutched his chest, cursing, "Quick, turn off this live stream. Even if Ellie is infertile, the Campbell family will not abandon her. We can always have children through technology." Exactly. Ellie, I love you for who you are, regardless of whether you can have children or not. Using that to measure a woman is objectifying women. It's an insult to love. Liam Campbell, his eyes red, held my hand and confessed his feelings, causing most of the netizens to side with us. That's so well said, sniff sniff. If Liam Campbell likes her so much, she must be very excellent. What if she can't have children? Why do you, old woman, have to meddle? Grandma Thorne seemed surprised that netizens would side with us, and was too angry to speak. My heart was filled with emotion, knowing this farce had to end. Grandma Thorne, actually, the one who can't have children isn't me, it's your grandson. Hearing me say this, Grandma Thorne immediately bristled. You little tramp, what nonsense are you spouting? The medical report clearly stated it back then. Are you still trying to shift the blame to my grandson? I sighed and explained the situation back then. Everyone was stunned when they heard that I had hidden the truth because I was afraid the Thorne family and Julian Thorne couldn't bear the blow, so she took the blame for being infertile out of kindness. Grandma Thorne, Julian Thorne swore he didn't mind my inability to have children back then, but then he turned around and married the pregnant Serena Thorne. You didn't even see any evidence and you cursed me, which truly disheartened me. I looked regretful and continued. I originally wanted to preserve some last shred of dignity for the Thorne family, but you've gone too far today. So let the whole internet see who truly made the mistake. Grandma Thorne's face was pale, and she murmured, "Impossible. It must be this little tramp, lying to slander my grandson. Whether it is or not, we can just do a re-examination." I dialed Julian Thorne's phone. He was still with Serena Thorne, but he immediately rushed over in a panic. "Grandma Thorne, how could you do these things without permission? Serena's pregnancy is still fragile. If she finds out, it could be dangerous." After speaking, he called someone to keep an eye on Serena Thorne, ensuring she didn't get access to a phone or hear any of these rumors. After hanging up the phone, he looked at me with disgust. "Eleanor Vance, I loved you very much back then, and I truly didn't mind your inability to have children. But none of this is a reason for you to turn the tables and accuse me. You truly are both malicious and selfish." I smiled. "In that case, you and I now go for a re-examination." "Okay, but we must choose a neutral third-party institution." No hospitals affiliated with Thorn Corp. Or Campbell Corp. He was afraid I'd try to act out a fake result, but he didn't know I was also. The test results came out quickly. My health was perfectly fine, while Julian Thorn suffered from male factor infertility. Impossible. He pulled me and went to another testing institution. The result was still the same. The entire internet exploded. OMG. So what she said was true. She kindly took the blame but was betrayed by the Thorn family. Ugh. Impossible. How could my second grandson have such a disease? Impossible. Grandma Thorn clutched her chest in disbelief. Grandpa Arthur Campbell coldly told her to apologize to me. Amidst everyone's shouts, Grandma Thorn and Julian Thorn reluctantly apologized to me and slunk away in shame. I led Liam Campbell to my mom's hospital bed. Seeing my arrival, Sarah Vance breathed a sigh of relief. Sarah Vance said that she hadn't seen Julian Thorn and me visiting her recently and thought something had happened to us. After hearing everything I said, Sarah Vance's eyes reddened and she said, "My dear daughter, it was Mom's mistake back then. I shouldn't have let you get together with Julian Thorn so easily. Mom harmed you." I cried and hugged her tightly. Sarah Vance, I chose my own path, but thankfully, everything turned out well. Liam Campbell comforted us. "Mom, I promise I won't let Ellie suffer any injustice. Please focus on getting well." 10 days later, Liam Campbell and I held a grand wedding. Julian Thorn burst into the ballroom, looking haggard and unshaven, begging me to forgive him. He said he deeply regretted being so infatuated that he agreed to marry Serena Thorn and hoped I would give him another chance. I had him thrown out. 3 months after the wedding, I became pregnant with Liam Campbell's child. Everyone in the Campbell family was overjoyed. Liam Campbell also handed over my previous work at Campbell Corp to others. "Wife, you're our family's treasure now. Focus on taking care of yourself, everything else can wait." While I was bored at home focusing on my pregnancy, I heard news about the Thorn family. It turned out that after that day, Julian Thorn started excessive drinking daily, refusing to bother with Serena Thorn anymore. Grandma Thorn had no choice but to place her hopes on the only hope in Serena Thorn's belly. But unexpectedly, Serena Thorn was finally exposed during a prenatal checkup. She wasn't pregnant at all. She had bribed a doctor to falsely claim pregnancy, aiming to force Julian Thorn to marry her. As netizens had predicted, she just wanted to marry the heir of Thorn Corp, resorting to any means necessary. After Grandma Thorn learned the truth, her last hope vanished. She had a stroke on the spot from anger and became vegetative state. Serena Thorn, however, acted as if nothing had happened. She drugged Julian Thorn while he was drunk and seduced him. After a night of recklessness, she used the video she recorded to threaten Julian Thorn not to divorce her. Otherwise, she would let the entire internet see him exposing his hypocrisy, despite his claims of loving me, and not doing anything to betray me. Julian Thorn finally understood that his childhood sweetheart, whom he and his elder brother had loved since they were young, had long since corrupted. He had actually betrayed his vows to me for such a rotten person. Grandma Thorn had collapsed, and Julian Thorn spent his days drowning himself in alcohol, living as a pathetic mess. Thorn Corp quickly collapsed, and the person who poached their key personnel was none other than Liam Campbell. He placed the documents for the newly established Vance Group in my hand, like a puppy waiting for its master's praise. "Wife, if Uncle Vance hadn't been ambushed and passed away back then, the Vance Group wouldn't have collapsed. You refused my help then, you're not allowed to refuse it now. Consider this my first gift to you, and the baby." Deeply moved, I hugged him and burst into tears. Later, I gave birth to a daughter, and everyone in the Campbell family cherished her like a treasure. "Wife, how about having another child to take your surname? Our Vance Group can't be without an heir." Liam Campbell's playful words made everyone laugh, but I was moved and agreed to him. He was willing to pass on his family fortune to our daughter, and knew I wanted to carry on the Vance Group legacy. He truly was the one who understood me best. On our daughter's full-month birthday celebration, I received an emerald bracelet inlaid with gold. It was the very one passed down from the Thorn family. Julian Thorn had also written a letter to me, saying he had wronged me and let me down. He hoped I would accept this gift as an apology. I threw away the letter and ordered someone to send the bracelet back. 2 days later, a news headline appeared. After Thorn Corp collapsed, the second young master and his wife had an internal conflict, and he killed her in an argument. Only then did I learn that day, after Serena Thorne found out he wanted to give the bracelet to me, she had a huge argument with Julian Thorne. Julian Thorne, completely enraged by her repeated threats, smashed her head with an ashtray. He was arrested for intentional homicide and sentenced to death. Before the execution, he hoped to see me one last time, but I refused him. From the moment he betrayed my trust, I lost all feelings for him. Seeing me sighed with emotion, Liam Campbell rested his head on my chest. Wife, I could never betray you. My heart is completely yours.